Alright, what is up guys, Action Figure Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look at the Jazzwares UFC Ultimate Series, Series 1 Donald Cerrone in the white shorts. This is the chase version of Donald Cerrone, so the regular one is the one in the blue shorts with, I think he has a different hat. And then there's this one here that we're going to be taking a look at. I haven't followed UFC in a while, but I do know who Donald Cerrone is a little bit. He's the cowboy, and he's had some pretty memorable fights. But he's kind of the fan favorite, even though he hasn't won any champion, or I guess any belts yet in any of the divisions. But he is still one of the fan favorites, and yeah, and I wanted to pick these up because this is more ammunition to fire at Mattel, that there are companies that are coming for the crown, so they either need to stand the fuck up or back the fuck down when it comes to improving quality, paint, articulation, accessories, stuff like that. Because it seems like no one at Mattel in the WWE section seems to really give a shit. And I'm going to show you what a quality ass $20 figure looks like, feels like, moves like, compared to what we get with the Mattel stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this review. Okay, so we are going to look at the box now. So as you can see, this is what it looks like in the package. So you can see the figure, you can see the accessories, and then behind the actual plastic there is the flag for each fighter, because if you watch UFC or you've seen UFC, every time the fighters come out, you know, their walkout entrance, they usually have their flags that represent where they're from. And for Donald Cerrone, his is the US flag, which is pretty cool. And then in the front you see 2020 limited edition Ultimate Series with the little octagon, which I think is cool. And then Donald Cerrone in the little corner there, and then you see Jazzwares. So the thing that Jazzwares had mentioned with these figures is that these are going to be limited edition, because these are kind of experimental figures, as in, if they do more down the line, there's going to be differences with them, like they are going to change up things with these. So that's why I wanted to get the ones that I wanted to get before then. That way, you know, if they do a Series 2, I have one from Series 1 to compare. And then on the back, it says Donald Cerrone, has the UFC logo, the little authenticity UFC sticker to let you know this is a real UFC product and not some bootleg crap. It says Donald Cerrone from the US, or has the US flag. Wow. His nickname, or his nickname in the octagon is the Cowboy, and he is fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. His UFC debut was UFC 126, and then has his career highlights. And then there's the rest of the fighters from Series 1, which is Daniel Cormier, Conor McGregor, John Jones, Max Holloway, and Khabib. Or I believe it's actually Khabib. I think the K is silent, so it might just be Khabib. One of the things I wish they did with the back of the box is that they gave you his height and his weight. I know when it comes to UFC, there's multiple weight divisions, so you know know, there's the featherweight, the bantamweight, and so on and so on. And so whenever you have a match between two fighters, they usually have to meet a specific weight in order to be able to fight in that weight class when it comes to the weigh-in and then the press conference and then the actual fight. I kind of wish they had just put his weight there, or at least his height, so that when I do the size comparison, I can see what his height is. So whenever I get to that, I will look up what his height is so that I can see whether or not these are scaled shorter, like he's too short for what he should be, or if he's too tall, or if he's just right. So yeah, with that being said, let's actually get into the paint and the sculpt. I didn't want to show the box though, just because these are new and I'm sure people want to see the box. So there you go. Okay, so we are going to take a look at his paint and his sculpt. So in terms of the paint, I believe there are very limited areas that are painted on this figure. So in terms of the paint, there is paint on the gloves here, which I'm gonna move right there so you can see that. And then, there we go. So yeah, he has the UFC painted on the gloves there, and then if you move these up here, there you go. So you can see there's the skin tone, and then the white tape underneath, which would be the wrap tape for whenever you're, don't know why it's not focusing. Yeah, so you can see there's the white wrap tape, and then there's the skin tone. So everything looks really nice in terms of the hands. Usually when it comes to particular companies, Mattel, painting their hands, they usually look like shit, and there's like bleeding and stuff like that. So that's good that that's actually looking pretty clean. Now in terms of his other things that are painted, he obviously has his trunks underneath here, or I guess there would be his fighting shorts, and then the shorts underneath, and then his underwear. So they actually painted that a gray color, so that's cool. I know he's got underwear, but you know, that's how it is. They actually wear underwear. And then on his tattoos, technically these aren't paint, it's more of decals, but they look really nice. He has his tattoo right here, which I'm trying to figure out what the hell that is. That is an angel. Okay, so yeah, there's an angel right there. It says playtime on the front of his cat, or I guess not his calves, his ankles. Then he has tattoos on the inside here, which and I gotta really zoom in to show you these. There you go. So yeah, those look good. These look really good. So yeah, that is pretty much his paint. It's very limited, but I mean, where it is, it counts. It counts. It's pretty clean though too, so I will give them that. So in terms of the sculpting, it's pretty on point, I think. This is pretty much how most UFC fighters are built. Depending on their weight class, they're going to be built different ways. Usually if it's the featherweight, they're going to be kind of smaller like this. Bantamweight, they're going to be a little bit bigger because they have to their weight class is a little bit higher. But yeah, it looks good. He has the right build, I think. Usually when it comes to figures that have this kind of cut here, usually they go a little too big, or a little too small, but I think this is just right when it comes to the build, because he has his abs right there, and he's got his bicep, or not his, wow, his pecs, his biceps. These are his biceps. His arms look really good too. They don't look too muscular. They look like they have just the right amount of muscle. Oh yeah, I forgot he had that tattoo back there too. So yeah, he has this Cerrone tattoo back here. So there's that, and then yeah, the back looks really good too. His legs are really nicely sculpted, and they even sculpted some little toes. Like there's actual little toenails sculpted in there for the feet. So that's cool. And there's some little veins and stuff like that in there, but they're not like over the top, you know, Incredible Hulk style veinage going on there. And then his face is really nicely sculpted too. Looks just like Donald Cerrone. I mean, it kind of looks a little cartoony, but I think it's alright. For a likeness, I think it's pretty good. So, yeah, with that being said, that is pretty much his paint and his sculpt. So now we can focus on his accessories. Okay, so for his accessories, he does come with an alternative head, his hat, a pair of interchangeable hands, and the flag. So in terms of the only difference between this head here and this head up here is just the beard is a little bit thicker on this one. So I guess depending on your personal preference, and I'm gonna have to get a little bit closer. So yeah, I guess depending on your personal preference, you can have whatever head you want on there. Yeah, interchanging them is pretty easy. Pop on pretty easy, and there you go. So now you have a more bearded Donald Cerrone. So there's that. His hat, which is actually really cool because it's got the little feather in it. I don't know why it has this little... I don't know what this is down here. Maybe this is like a code. Maybe this is a code to something. I don't really know. Maybe it's a code to the game, or a code to something, maybe a distribution code, I don't know. But I kind of don't like that it's on there though, because I think, yeah, well, actually no, I think it's alright if you had them like looking down, you'd be able to see that code, but I think it's alright. In terms of trying to hide the code, you really have to hide it. But I mean, in terms of the hat, it sits on there good. It's not too big, it's not too small. It fits his head just right, and it's a softer material. So it's kind of a rubber material, so it's meant to kind of stretch out to fit his head, but it won't, you know what I mean, it won't sit, weird on his head, or it won't sit too tight on his head like Mattel does with some of their figures that have hats. But there's that, and then of course his set of interchangeable hands, which are kind of open palm hands. So these are kind of holding hands, and to interchange those, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna try to do this. Sorry, I got a lot of shit over here. Yikes. Sorry about that. The microphone fell. So yeah, you could just pop these out here. And pop these in here. And that's what those look like. So these are more of, I guess, gesturing hands. Yeah, I'm guessing these are more of gesturing hands. So yeah, that's what those are there. So that's what those look like, and they look good. They're also really nicely painted. I thought maybe because these were gonna be maybe mass distributed figures, I thought maybe the paint was gonna be kind of shit, but no, I mean the UFC logo is clean on all the hands, so I'm happy about that. And then of course there is his flag, which is a soft goods material, which is nice. This is how it should be. We should be getting soft goods more consistently for, you know, the $20 with some of these figures. So and then to set that up on his, like to have it draped over his, what's it called, to have it draped over him, it's not that hard either. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is just kind of have him hold the tips maybe of the flag. I don't know, this is giving me like hella Rocky vibes right now, sorry. With the flag, I kind of think that's cool. So yeah, that's what that looks like on him, which I dig it a lot, and I think Jazzwares has got a winner on their hands with this. But that is the accessories. Now onto the articulation. Okay, so we are gonna have to re-record this. Oh man, okay. So let's get into his articulation. So in terms of his articulation, his head's on a ball joint, so you can get 360. He doesn't really need to look 360 because he's a human being, but he can look up this much, he can look down this much, he can look left, he can look right. He has some sass, so his head can go side to side. He has the butterfly joint in his arms, which is fantastic. So he can move his arm back this much, move it forward this much. He can move his arm up this much. He can move his arms down to his sides. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. He has the hinge in the hands, so side to side, turn it, it can go up and down. His ab articulation is kind of similar to the Ultimate Edition figures from Mattel, where it's just movement up here. So it's a ball joint up here, so he can crunch forward this much, crunch back this much. He has side to side. Straighten his legs out. There you go. Side to side. There, he has a waist swivel. His legs can move up this much, and they seem to be on ratchet joints actually, which is kind of cool. And then his legs can move back this much. He has a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then he also has his foot can move back this much, his foot can move forward this much, and there's the ankle rocker. So honestly, in terms of his articulation, it's not bad, but can he do a roundhouse kick? Can he do it? Can he do a roundhouse kick with the sickle foot? Can he do it? Can he do it? Can I get him to do it? Please do it. Please. Sitting here for like 5 minutes trying to get him to do it. And then after I turned the camera off, I was able to get him to do it. He's kind of wobbling. Come on, Donald, you can do this, buddy. it's harder to kind of balance it on this foot. I think just because it's a flatter, you know what I mean? Like it's a flatter foot, like a normal foot. So, come on. Yeah, he's not wanting to do it. No. Come on, Donald, you're in front of the camera, buddy. Don't make me look bad. Come on. Yeah, it's the joint in the foot, maybe? I don't know. Maybe if I do it the other way. If I do it the other way, maybe it'll be better. Usually I do it that way, but I mean, it'll help prove my point that you can. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Oh, I forgot. Sickle foot. Forgot about that sickle foot. There we go. So it might just be that foot there that has a little bit of a loose joint. It's not like super loose, but it's definitely something to keep my eye on. Oh, also something else is that as I was posing him, I noticed that there was some, like, what's it called, staining on the, as you can see right there, there's some staining from the, not from these shorts, but the shorts underneath here are black, so that is going to possibly stain your figure. So that is something to watch out for and to keep in mind. So hopefully, if there's a Series 2, Jazzwares can figure out how to do a material that won't stain the legs. But that is his articulation. Now let's get into the final thoughts. Okay, so of course I'm going to be showing size comparisons as I'm doing my final thoughts, like I did on the last one. So my final thoughts are this: quality figure for a really low price. $20, you're getting soft goods, you're getting extra set of hands and extra head, soft goods for the shorts and the flags. Some of the fighters come with titles that represent their weight division, and I don't know, just the paint is on point. There's no like real slacking. There's no QC issues really, like in terms of painting and stuff. Everything's really clean. I think the only issue I had was with his foot. I think it's like a little bit loose, so it's kind of hard to balance him on one foot when you want him to strike. Like if he's hitting someone with a kick, and you want to have him balanced on his right leg, you kind of have to mess around with it. It's better on the left leg with mine, but I think that's the only thing I can really nitpick. Butterfly joints, double jointed elbows, knees, sculpting's on point, and yeah, these are just quality ass figures. They're dope. And if you want something different from Mattel, there you go. I mean, these are obviously like they should be wake-up calls for Mattel to get their shit together, but clearly they're not, because again, no one gives a fuck at Mattel apparently, and they just want to keep doing the same shit, which is clearly not working for them. So you know what I mean? Like, clearly Jazzwares is coming for the crown, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather give my money to a company that actually gives a shit than give money to a company that doesn't. So that's pretty much all I gotta say on this. Thank you very much for watching this review, and Action Figure Addict 112 out.
Here comes a new challenger.